I always quit. I quit when creating a content for YouTube or TikTok. I quit when this new business idea comes to my mind and I get very excited, but when I start to execute it, in the boredom phase where things happens, I get bored, I quit. I try to wake up early, do the things that are important to me that will change my life, and I do 3 days and I get bored and I quit again. And this was the pattern I had in the last 5 or 6 years. If you're new to this channel, I'm Famil Samadli. I navigated 3 countries. I managed to reach six-figure net worth and I managed to buy all the things I was dreaming of. And I always wondered why I can commit to big things, but I cannot commit to small optional things. And that was the question I was keep asking myself in the last 1 year. For years, I thought I was just, undisciplined or weak or couldn't commit, didn't have the willpower to achieve things or motivations to keep motivated myself. But that was not what's happening because I already did achieve a big things. And then why I can't achieve the small things? Then I did a significant research around this topic and I found out a lot of things that I'm going to share today with you in this video. Now, starting with the fact that our brain loves dopamine. It's one of the best things and one of the important things our brain chases every single day. Anything that brings high dopamine, our brain is like, yes. And for brain, typically these things means like new things means high dopamine. And when you actually start to think about a new business idea, or you want to start creating a content, or you want to start to learn something, now your brain gets very excited and it releases a lot of dopamine. This is how it motivates you to start doing things a week or two or more. And then you reach to a phase where you have to commit for quite some time because you know that you will not see results of it like immediately, because you can't just post a video today on YouTube and expect you will have 1 million followers and I don't know, millions of people will write comments and watch your videos. And same goes with business. You can't just start business today and get 50 clients tomorrow because these things doesn't happen. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of commitment, and at the end it might work, it might not work. Like these are like very ambiguous for brain. So when you hit this certain area in these kind of like situations and your brain is like shuts off and tells you, tries to make you wonder, let's try this idea, let's try this business idea, I don't know, let's do different type of content. And then as usual, we don't notice the pattern. We're like, yeah, I tried, it didn't work, and then we go with the new idea. And when you look back, you can see that you start things, you then quit, and then choose another idea and then repeat this every year 10 times. That's why you can't commit to things, because your brain tries to prioritize high dopamine always. Now, this isn't a discipline problem. This is purely how our brain works. Our brain basically made for starting, like exploration, finding new ideas, but it was never meant to finish the things. Stick to commitment, stick to boring part, and then do it no matter no motivation at all. You're sad, you're not feeling it, you're not in the mood. When we kind of like lean into it, it kind of puts you into this thinking paralysis to avoid a risk as much as possible, because our brain loves safety. And then when you're in thinking paralysis, you can already know that you're doing a lot of researches about starting a business, but then at the end of the day, you're not doing nothing about it. And that's what I was literally living in the last 5-6 years. Let me tell you something, you can actually rewire your brain, and it is possible. It just takes a little bit of an effort. Now, I was also one of these people, and I started to do a lot of research, just read a lot of books, and I found out these 4 things that are currently working for me, and I will going to share with you what are these 4 things. First, I want to say that having a goal or motivation is good, but having a system that will take you to your goal is much better than anything, because system can make you achieve that goal over and over again 10 times, 20 times. That is the idea that I'm chasing. Now, one of these 4 rules that I have, first one is making a public commitment. Now, why this matters? Believe it or not, scientifically, our brain sees embarrassment much more dangerous than failing. And when you tell your friends, your family members that you're going to learn this new skill, you're going to start a content creation, and you're going to start a business, then you kind of put your brain into an unescapable room. Well, if we don't do anything about it, if we don't achieve anything in this field, then we're basically gonna get embarrassed from our by friends or by family. And that's how like you're forcing your brain to do things even though it's boring. And the second one is weekly accountability. Now, let's say you want to do content creation. You say, I'm going to upload video every Wednesday at 2 a.m. And then if you put that exact date and exact time frame to calendar, this kind of like basically pre-train your brain so that it's gonna expect things gonna happen in 2 3 days. That's how it kind of like forces you to, okay, I have to write a script, I have to record the video, I have to edit it, and these kind of things. Believe it or not, visualizing things in places like in calendar, or you write things in your notebook, it kind of makes it easier to stick for brain. Now, third one is setting a deadline. Now, setting a deadline is important because you kind of tell your brain that I'm going to do this thing until 2027 January, let's say. No matter what happens, this is the deadline that I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it. And believe it or not, we do this subconsciously in a lot of places. When you study university, when we get into a job, and it kind of like eases the process because you already know you're going to be here for quite some time. And I always explain this with a simple example that I have is like, when you're running, remember as a kid, you were saying that let's run to the next tree. When you're running, when you do that, like let's run to the next tree, and then when you reach that tree, you say let's run to again to the next tree. And then if you keep telling yourself these, you would actually run quite a long distance. Now, the last one is redefining success. We all use social media. We all see people getting rich in their early 20s, people buying their dream cars, dream houses. These are not the success comparison we should do in our life with ourselves, because everyone lives a different path, completely different from each person. You're gonna have to be conscious with your goals when you create them. You can't just sit today and say that I want to buy Porsche 911 at the end of the year. When you write it down, you already know that you cannot achieve that goal. Or the other thing is that when you create a content, we kind of like assume that we're gonna upload a video and it's gonna go viral, we're gonna get millions of subscribers, millions of views. But in reality, this never happens. It usually takes a year of commitment, or maybe years of commitment, because if you look at the Mr. Beast, you could see that he committed for like 10 years to this YouTube thing until he made a breakthrough. What we can do is we can say that 1,000 consistent viewers to my videos. Now, our brain works when you provide the next step. If you know the next step, it's always easier for you to go ahead. But if the next step is very ambiguous, you're always going to stuck the place you are, and it's never going to change. Now, I know that the social media changed the way we live now, especially in the last 2 3 years, that we live life in a very fast speed, and we think boredom shouldn't be part of it. I always have to be busy, I always have to keep myself busy, otherwise I am failing. To be honest, boredom is a very big part of our life. It should be still be part of our life, because boredom actually makes you to ask important questions and take actions on those important questions that are matter to you, instead of like keeping yourself busy with these artificial tools, and then you reach a certain age, you're like, I don't know what's the life purpose of me, or I don't know what to achieve, I don't know what career I should have gone with. And if I had to give advice to myself today, I would just say myself to start today, pick one thing, commit to it for a year, and apply these rules. But for sure, you will be in a lot better place than before. If you're also in this phase where you're trying to break the patterns and quit from doing things and then actually do things that are important to your life, let's figure this out together. See you in the next video.